Well, welcome. First and foremost to 2022, because I know that it has been a roller coaster past couple of 18 months or 2 years. And I'm excited because I like to switch it up every now and then. If you've been following the Speak Black Woman podcast, sometimes I'm live, sometimes I'm pre-recorded. And I thought, what better way to start off January with a live episode of the Speak Black Woman podcast? For those of you who don't know who I am, welcome. My name is Quinn Conyers, and I broadcast the brilliance of Black women in business. I show them how to creatively and confidently be the spokesperson for their business, their book, or their brand as soon as they open their mouth using luxury language and not discount dialect. And I'll talk about that more in just a second. And when I'm not doing that, I am partnering with event planners and meeting planners and transforming their event into epic experiences as an energetic MC and a master moderator. But let me just tell you what I love to do. I love to broadcast the brilliance of Black women because we are a very diverse and rich culture, and we know a lot of things, a lot of different disciplines, and I always want to make sure that we are seen and heard. And today, I promise you, the conversation will not disappoint. And the reason why I'm excited, because I don't know about you, but I actually love Clubhouse, like not even a little bit, but a lot. And anytime I have a chance to meet a brilliant Black woman on Clubhouse and then connect with them, have a synergy with them, and then bring them on the podcast, it just makes my heart smile. So I don't know about you, but I am all about getting my money right. I want to be wealthy, wise, and I want to work out every now and then, right? And I thought that the perfect way to do that is to bring a special guest when being wealthy is literally what she believes is your birthright, right? So if you're one of those people like, I don't know, or you had different relationships with money, you definitely want to get a pen and paper because I already know what comes out of Natalie's mouth will rock your world and blow your mind. So I'm not going to make her wait any longer behind stage. I'm going to bring her to the screen and I'm going to give her her proper introduction. But I just want you to see greatness the way I see greatness. Natalie, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
I am well, happy to be here, excited to chat.
Yes. Okay. So for those of you who are like, who is that wonderful woman on camera with Quinn? Her name is Natalie Bullen. And let me tell you something about her. She wants you to know a secret that you can literally make as much money in your business as you choose to. Did you hear what I just said? She believes it's a choice, right? And it's not something that you have to be literally screaming and losing sleep over. If you got the right system set up, if you're ready to get more clients, higher revenue, if you want to really stop being fearful of your success and your money, if you want to stop making excuses, if you want to get out of your own way, guess what? Natalie is the mindset and profitability coach. And we're going to have a conversation really about how she works with entrepreneurs and business owners just like you and getting them to work on their business instead of in their business and stop trading time for dollars and how you can sell consistently to have 5-figure revenue months, weeks, or even days. I don't know about you, but it's 2022. And what I want to do is speak a 5-figure, day into your life. So with that being said, Natalie, I'm so excited to have you here. I want to jump right on in, right?
Okay.
Unapologetic wealth. Tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about that name because it could have been money right with Natalie. It could have been financial consulting. Like it could have
True.
been all these names that we see, but why unapologetic wealth?
You know what? It's crazy. I didn't actually name it. One of my fans, Clubhouse, named it. You're right. It was going to be something very boring. I already had a name reservation. I really wanted it to be meticulous money. And my mom was like, people cannot spell meticulous. That is a
Mama
terrible,
ain't
terrible
wrong. Mama
idea.
ain't wrong.
Yeah. She was like, no, no, try again. And I was like, powerful, dynamic, and like everything was taken. And I'm like, this is a dumb reason to not be in business because you don't have a name that you like. This is like the dumbest reason ever. Like, you've been in business a year under a name you hate. Like, I wanted something I love. And here comes somebody in the DMs. I love how unapologetic you are about blank, blank, blank. And I was like, that's it. That is it. That is it. I was like, please, God, come on. Come on. Let's check Secretary of State. Let's check trademark. Let's check the URL. Let's check all the social media. And God just opened it up for me. No one was using it anywhere online. So yeah, that's how unapologetic. And that's what I want people to be. I think women, we apologize. I've mostly lost my voice. You notice I did not come in this call and apologize for it. I didn't make myself sick. It
Mm.
happened. Right?
Right,
Now,
right,
if I needed
right.
to cancel, maybe apologize for that, but don't apologize for having a raspy voice. That doesn't make sense to me. But that's what women do. We apologize for our kids in the background. We apologize
Mm.
for out earning our spouse. We apologize for one eyebrow being taller than the other one. That's just what society tells us to do. So, like, stop it. You made a lot of money. Okay. Don't feel bad about it. Don't make other people feel bad about it. Just step into it. It's your money. You'll never hear a man apologize for being wealthy. Ever, ever, ever. It's our time.
Listen, no lies detected. She said we will apologize for one eyebrow being higher than the other. We will apologize for making more money. You know what? I love that. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because I feel like we need to have a different mindset around our money. So I want to know a little bit more about you, right? Were you always good with money? I mean, like, did you just come out the womb like adding up stuff? I mean, was there a bankruptcy? You know what I mean? That you had? Because sometimes there's divine things, right?
Yeah.
Where I don't know, I just always was good at this, and there's a disruption. Like, I
Yeah.
lost everything, and I was like,
Yep.
that's not going to happen again. So let me get my money right. Because
Yeah.
people who are unapologetic about money, it's there's the story behind that. So I want to know a little
Yeah.
bit about Natalie. Like, how did you even get to that point? I want to shout out Pam Perry, who's live with us right
Oh, I
now. A few
love
other
Pam.
people who are watching in. So I know that's going to happen, as well as literally the replay. But I want to know, like, I mean, did you wake up like this with money in your hand? Did you learn apologetic? Like, let us know.
Well, I think I'm both, right? So I've always been good with money and I followed all the rules. I'm a rule follower. I was a straight A student, never suspended. I've never been in a fight. Like, I am a rule follower. That's the type of person I am. That's what I've always been. My mom's a school teacher. She later became a principal. She told me, you follow the rules, you stay out of trouble. And that's what I believe. So I followed a budget. I worked 2 jobs. I went to college. I did everything right. Everything right. I kept my credit cards down. I never made a late payment. And I lost my job and I had a health scare and I ended up in a bad breakup where I had to move out of my own apartment and ended up filing bankruptcy. Me, a person with a 700 FICO score. And it was 700 when I filed because I had no income. And so it didn't matter that I had been making payments on time for years. It didn't matter that I had a spreadsheet with my money. It didn't matter that I'd never paid an overdraft fee. None of that mattered anymore. All that mattered was I didn't have money right then to keep making payments. And so that made me realize, wow, the system we have is really flawed, really, really broken. If you don't have cash, you're done. Credit is one thing, that's cool, but you can't really pay credit with other credit. They have laws against that. You need to have a cash cushion. You need to have some money you can put your hands on, and you probably need more income. I was poor when I filed bankruptcy. I was, I don't know, maybe $10 an hour, $12 an hour, and I was working 2 different jobs to try to piece together enough to get by. And you know what's interesting? No one ever told me, Natalie, you should go get a higher paying job. People congratulated me for working 2 and 3 jobs. When they would see me in the evenings at Dillard's selling costume jewelry when my ears aren't even pierced, I don't even wear jewelry, they would congratulate me. They would say, oh, you're such a hardworking young lady. Nobody ever said, Natalie, you don't have to be hardworking. Natalie, you don't have to work 2 and 3 jobs. Natalie, you should go out for a 6-figure job. I've never had a 6-figure job. So that's what's so interesting as I reflect back on it, that people praised me for being poor because I was a hard worker. So I really want to break us out of this stigma that, as long as you tread in water, you okay. You're not. You are one health crisis, one bad breakup away from being homeless or filing bankruptcy if you don't have the income to be able to save and put money aside. And that's in your personal or your business. And most of us don't have $400 or $500 for an emergency. That's scary. You are treading water. So I'm here to tell people, step into your gift, earn more. That Starbucks coffee is not what's going to put you into poverty. It's not the coffee. Like the financial gurus got you afraid of something that's not going to happen.
You said a couple different things there. And, and I want to talk about that for a second as we dive into this conversation about wealth and money, because we are praised, especially as women, for be that worker horse, for having 2 and 3 jobs, right? And nobody ever said get a higher paying job, or girl, you doing the most, sis. Like you ain't got no edges, or you look stressed out, or every time I see you, you eating fast food, or, none of that. So where do you think that comes from? Why do you think society, or even women, I'm even going to go a step deeper with Black women, right? Why do you think our culture is praising for hustle hard? And I don't know if you were ever in a clubhouse room, but I was like, I don't want to be booked and busy. I want to be peaceful and paid. I don't.
We don't think that's an option.
Okay.
We think peaceful and paid are opposites. We don't think that those two things can live together. That's one. So because all we've ever seen modeled, like think about it. Your mama, she worked hard. She had 2 jobs. She got 2 master's degrees. Your daddy probably can't say that. Almost every Black woman I meet, this is being honest. Almost every Black woman I meet, when I say, tell me about your mother, she is degreed up, jobbed up, bossed up. Tell me about your father. And it's like, well, like you can see their face change. Like they be proud on their mama. Tell me about your grandparents. Usually they were poor, but they were hardworking. Or maybe grandma just didn't work. But either way, they never made a lot of money, but grandpa was hardworking. Let's go back one more generation. What do you know about your grandparents? I know that both my grandparents worked. They were both, my great-grandmother was a school teacher, and my great-grandfather was a carpenter. And I know that he helped build a Piggly Wiggly in Mobile, Alabama. And I know that he worked really, really hard. What about his parents? They were slaves. We already know what kind of work they was putting in. So we haven't been modeled. We haven't seen a generation of non-hard workers. We're really the first generation to even start dreaming of that reality. We've never seen it modeled. 2, we don't have a financial legacy that's been passed down. So if you look at Black people versus other ethnicities, or even, white Americans, they typically will have someone in the family with some wealth. It's more likely than us. When grandma died, how much did we get in life insurance? Not a penny.
Right.
But if you were white and your great grandmother died, it's possible that you would get an inheritance. So we also tend to start at 0. Each generation starts at 0. We start over. Every generation. When your granddaddy died, you lose his house. When your mama died, you lose her house. So then when you start off, you got to buy a house. What happens when you die? Is it paid off? Is it titled correctly? Or does it get lost in probate again? See, so other ethnicities, other people have had time to gain wealth. And unfortunately, we've been marginalized for so long. We've missed out on some of those opportunities. So it's twofold. One, I think we don't know that not working hard is a choice. And then 2, not working hard requires some kind of capital. We don't have it. And we don't really have a family member. People were mad with our ex-president when he started his business with a small loan of $1 million. But in real life, if we had parents that could loan us $1 million with 0% interest, wouldn't we take it? Like, what are we actually mad at? Are we mad because he did it, or are we mad that we couldn't? I'm mad that I couldn't, to be honest. And that's what I want to change if I ever have children, or for the legacy that I put out in the world.
No, that's good. And you said so many things, you know what I mean? I mean, wealth is just an interesting conversation between families, you know what I mean? And families, as you're trying to grow and transition. And it's interesting because I remember when I literally got my bachelor's degree, and then I was going to get my master's from Howard University. My grandmother, right, who had to drop out of school to be able to cook, I think at like maybe 10 or 11, you know what I mean? She's from South Carolina. She literally called my mom and was just like, what is Quinn doing? Quinn needs to get a job. She needs to get married. She needs to have kids. I was like, wait, what? But I had to understand where her mentality was coming from. So everybody's family and relationship with money is different, you know what I mean? And there's a difference. And I would love to know from you, is there a difference between money and wealth? Like, let's just break that down for a
Yeah.
second, because I feel like sometimes those terms are like money or wealth or rich or finances, just some words that are used to describe income or revenue. But I would love for you to kind of break down, Natalie's philosophy on the difference between money and wealth. And then we could talk about how do we hit access. And I don't care, right, if we are starting from scratch. It just might be your reality.
Right.
You could be 21, 22, 32, 42. It's
Mhm.
not too late. So not only do I like to dive into these, I also love to give whoever's watching or listening some practical steps. But let's
Yeah.
just start there. Is there a difference between money and wealth?
Yeah, absolutely. Money is just something you've earned or were given or inherited. Lottery winners are rich, pro athletes are rich, but wealth is actually taking your money to buy assets with it, to buy back your time, to actually have something that is not a depreciating value. It's not Gucci belts and Escalades. Those really aren't asset classes. I like luxury, don't get me wrong, and I think we deserve luxury, but we would have so much more of it if we built wealth first. So, what wealthy people will do is cultivate a mindset that tells them that being poor is unacceptable. So, one, they elevate themselves and say, you know what, I'm just not going back to that.
Right.
It's just non negotiable, right? And everybody has some non negotiables in their life. They done left something, they're like, nope, I ain't never going back to that. So, that's one. Two, it's having practical knowledge. Most people of any color have very little financial acumen. If you ask your viewers on Facebook on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your financial acumen? You're not going to get numbers close to 10. I didn't. I got up 2, 3, 3.5. Some people put negative numbers. I was like, I know you lying. Negative numbers, okay? I was like, how y'all get negatives on a scale of 1 to 10? Wouldn't one have been sufficient? But they trying to
No,
say,
they was like,
no,
I don't know.
I ain't even a one, baby. I'm lower than you could even imagine. And having wealth is having options. It's the option to move to Paris because you got a great job offer. It's the option to put your children in the most expensive premier private school because they've been having some issues in that public school you sent them to. It's the option to take a month off work and not miss your check. I was reading either Fortune or Forbes, it's probably been 10 years ago now, and they had a study on the wealthiest 1 or 2%. And only 10% of their income came from wages. And at the time, that was so baffling to me because all I knew was wages. All I knew was going to work and being a worker. So I'm like, what are you talking about? What are they doing? Hustling on the corner? What do you mean only 10% of they? All of the rest of it was dividends, royalties, passive income, real estate, self-employed. 10% was W-2 job. So if you think about the people you know, 90, 100% of their income comes from what? W-2 job.
Yeah.
But the wealthy people don't embody that. They just do other things that free up their time. So wealth is a mind state that starts to move into all the other areas of your life. Whereas money comes and goes. You earn it, you spend it, you earn it, you spend it, you earn it, you spend it, you lose it, you get it. It's easy come, easy go. Unless you make an effort to say, okay, I got some money. I'm going to turn it into wealth by doing blank, right? Whatever that wealth strategy is, you'll lose it. And it's evidenced by tax time. How many people get 10, 15, 20K tax refund, but be broke next month? And they get it every year like clockwork. I've seen it. I used to do taxes. And I would be shocked at people getting all this money. And I'm like, you made 20K all last year and got 12K in a lump sum. How could you not make that 12K last more than a weekend? How could you spend it when you done went all year on 20K? Like, it doesn't even make sense. But that's what happens when you're indoctrinated into a poverty mindset. You don't see where there's anything to do with money other than spend it. You don't even know that there's an option out there.
No, I love it. And you're so right. And I'm glad that you are tackling this. And if anybody knows me, Natalie, you could be proud of this. I have a sneaker obsession, right?
Mhm.
I call myself a sneakerhead, a little something, something, right? And I love Puma. That's my first brand of choice. And I also love Nike. And I have put on my social media Because my husband's like the opposite, right? He is like more of like, he's so into numbers and like he knows all this stuff. Like he looks at me, just gets tired. I got too much energy for him. I'm an extrovert, he's an introvert, but it works. So I was like, oh my gosh, these new Pumas, I want them. And he gonna type underneath my Facebook post, won't you buy the stock instead? Here I go, won't you mind your business? But you know what? He was right. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. So
But you could do both. You could do both.
You can do both, but I have made a commitment that for the next 6 months, I personally am not buying any new pair of sneakers. If I get the urge, I'm buying the Puma stock. Okay.
I like it. I'm impressed.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's little stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Little.
I think that we have more options, but there's one thing that you say, and if you guys know me at all, I'm a lover. I want to leave a legacy with my language. Some people want to leave a legacy doing other things, but I love language. And you mentioned, which I love, that really kind of struck me to the core. I don't know if I heard you on a Clubhouse room, because, you know, I'd be like, I'm the unofficial president of the fan club of Natalie Bullen. I'm just saying, right? And you said that wealth is our birthright. And I just was like, what? Like, I mean, it just resonated differently. And I can tell that it's something that you believe, it's something that you embodied, it's something that you embrace. Talk about that. Why do you believe that wealth is our birthright? And not even wealth is our birthright for all mankind, but wealth is our birthright for women. Why do you believe that?
It's true. Look. It is statistically accurate. When women have more wealth, the world benefits. Women are more charitable than men. Women are more conscientious than men. There are even studies that women are better investors than men. The only reason we don't get better returns on our investments is because we invest less money than men, because we are risk averse. But if you look at just the returns, if you look at who leads most families, of course, the man is the head of the household. I believe that. Most Christians believe that. However, when you look at decision making, what do men say? Let me talk to my wife. You should talk to my wife. Let me go home and we're going to talk about that, right? A lot of financial decisions aren't getting made without our input anyway. So we may as well be out there earning this money. It only makes sense. You're going to earn the money for me to make the decision with it. Make that make sense. I should be making some money too, right? I want to have impact and legacy as well. But two, if you start to believe truthfully that God put you on earth for a purpose, and that you deserve to be prosperous, and that you deserve to be compensated, and that he doesn't want you working, stressed, burnout, struggling, confused, working with clients that's cursing you out, that's always outside the scope of your work and not getting paid, and the invoice is not paid, and the client is bouncing, but you gotta work. That's not what God wants for us. That's not it. That's what we're fighting for, but that's not what he wants.
Yeah.
He wants us to have prosperity. Why? Because I'm a child of the Most High God. It's already mine. Now, maybe I forgot it's mine and need to go claim it. It's just like baggage claim when you fly. It could be your suitcase. But if you don't ever go down to baggage claim and pick it up off that turnstile, then guess what? You won't have it. You won't have it. So lots of us have a carousel of wealth. God just been spinning
it around.
You better
come on with an analogy.
Spinning it around, and we just standing there waiting. Oh, that's not mine. No, that belongs to someone else. Nope, that one's not mine. It's yours. It's yours. Go over there and claim it, pick it up. It's yours. It's your turn.
I couldn't hold it.
That's what I feel like people need to understand. It's already yours. And you standing around waiting for God to give you something, go claim it. It's already yours. My millions are already stored up for me. I just have to claim them. I just have to walk in my purpose. I just have to give God something to bless. That's it. That's all I have to do. But that's not what we do. We book our calendar full of calls with unqualified applicants. We go to the mall and buy crap that don't even look good on us no more. But we was bored, so we bought it. Like, come home with bags and stuff. You're like, what did I even buy? I used to be such a shopper. I would get home and be surprised. I would get home and open the bags and go, I bought this. This is cute. Like, I would be surprised all over again. It was like Christmas. That's crazy. Yeah. Because I had so much trying to, again, fill a void. But if you had that, what I call poverty consciousness, if you grew up poor, you grew up lower middle class, you've been working since you was 14, I could spot it. I already know your mama worked 2 jobs, your granddaddy worked 3 jobs, they put y'all through college, and so now you've got it in your mind that you have to assimilate to have money, you have to conform to have money,
Yeah.
you have to do what someone else tells you to do to have money, you have to follow the rules to have money. Whose rules? What rules? Were those rules designed to make you wealthy? I want everybody here to really ask themselves, what rule am I following that has been designed to make a Black woman wealthy? And when you find it out, please hit me up on Clubhouse, Facebook. I want to know, because honestly, what we're following, maybe it's made somebody wealthy, but it ain't somebody who look like us.
Well, listen, deacon, comedian, evangelist, Episcopal, Natalie Bullen.
Wealth creature.
Listen, I love it. I love the analogy about baggage claim and our wealth spinning around, and it continue to spin around until somebody claims it. And just to go a step further, even if you don't get it right away, they'll still take your baggage and put it away until you come back. So it's not like it just goes away. It's stored. Right. So I am an analogy junkie. So I love that. And I just see so many people who are, you know what I mean, just watching it go round and round. And, I think that, traditionally this is probably the time people say, well, what can people do to get started? Right. I don't want to go there, because you mentioned something. It's a mindset. And I think we hear that, but we don't really understand that. So a lot of times it was like we were pushed to work, right? Oh, you're 14, you're 15, you better get a job, because that's when people started working, right? So what are some of like the misconceptions and stereotypes we need to let go in regards to money? Like, we just need to leave it in 2021 with the coronavirus. We need to exit out. Like, how I feel about the word help, right? We need to get rid of that. Like, what are some mindset things that literally we believe to be true for years that it's just like, nah, sis, you need to let that go. You don't have to work 50 million jobs to make ends meet.
We need to let go of our identity being attached to our work.
Okay, explain that.
We need to let go. I would have described myself as a hard worker up until 2017. It was part of who I was. Having lots of jobs, working lots of hours, getting lots of paychecks. I stacked my jobs where I'd get paid this Friday from one and next Friday from another, and then I wait tables and get paid every day. I thought that was a flex to have 12 different paydays in 1 month. I bragged about how hard I worked. There's some slave ancestor that is like, sis, I did not pass away for you to keep doing this to yourself, ma'am. We need to detach our self-worth from our occupation. We need to attach our self-worth to our purpose, not our paycheck.
Yes.
We need to stop believing that money doesn't grow on trees. It does. It does. The tree of opportunity is there, and you can pluck a dollar bill off of it anytime you can solve
someone's tree problem. Of opportunity.
Anytime somebody has a problem they won't solve, and you can solve it. You can go in your backyard and pluck a dollar bill off the tree. I promise you today, I can go on Clubhouse and I can tell people that there is a better way to manage their money. And I can pull someone into my funnel, and I can talk to them this afternoon, and I can create money if I need to. That is because I am walking in my purpose. See, that's the problem with jobs. They are completely detached from your purpose. They are attached to a task. You work at the bank, you open checking accounts. You do makeup, you make people look pretty. If it's not attached to your purpose, if that ain't your kingdom assignment, it's just a task. So you go, you complete tasks, you get paid. But it never feels easy, and it never feels good, because it's not attached to anything why you were created on this earth. And that's why you can't get paid well for it. And that's why you have to piece 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 jobs together. Would you want to eat food that you had to put 3, 4, 5 seasonings on at the dinner table? That wasn't no good meal. I'd rather just not eat that meal. I got to put that much on it at the dinner table. But that's what we do with our life. We have a job we hate, a man with no money, a house we don't like, and we steady trying to season that little life, trying to make it about something. Let it go. It's not for you. We need to let go of the childhood trauma that is unhealed. If you grew up poor, you may have some trauma between what you didn't have, maybe Christmas presents your parents couldn't buy, whatever that is. Maybe you still see yourself as that child. I meet women who are 30 and 40 years old who still see themselves as a child in the projects. And so even when they make more money, they're fearful of it. I need you to heal your relationship with money. Money is neutral. It's just a tool. Money just helps you accomplish something. Give all of your dollars a job. What does that mean? All of my dollars have something to do. None of them are rogue. None of them are free agents. None of them are unemployed. Some of my dollars keep my hair done. Some of my dollars keep me clothed. Some of my dollars keep this roof over my head. Some of my dollars fund my business, but all of them have a job. Some of my dollars invest in the stock market. Some of my dollars keep me entertained. Look at how powerful that is when you give all of your dollars a task. Most of us can't keep money in our hand. We can't figure out why. It's because your dollars are doing whatever they want to do. If you hired employees but didn't give them a job guide, you didn't give them tasks, you didn't give them employee handbook, what would they do all day? Nothing. Scroll on their phone, TikTok, because you've given them no purpose. All of my dollars have a purpose because I know how important it is for them to not be out there rogue acting a fool in Lenox Mall. That's not where they belong. They have better things to do.
Yes.
We really need to just step into it, but it all comes back to worthiness. And if we're really honest with ourselves, most of us don't feel worthy of wealth. Most of us think because I'm a single parent, I can never be wealthy. Because I was a teenage mother, I can't be wealthy. Because of my bankruptcy, I can't be wealthy. Because of my foreclosure, Natalie, you don't understand. I didn't go to college. I can't get a good paying job. I can't have a six-figure job. Natalie, you don't understand. My clients are poor. They can't afford to pay me more money. Natalie, you don't understand. Nobody knows who I am. I can't do what you do on Clubhouse. Natalie, you don't understand. And I'm like, you've been fighting for your limitations for 30, 40, 50 years. When you gonna let it go? You sis, you don't understand. You don't understand how big a God you serve. You think the God you serve is going to let you be tripped up because you was a teenage mom. Your kids are doing great, baby. You fine. So that's in the past. What difference it make if you had your child at 17, 27, 37, or 47 if the child turned out fine? In the grand scheme of things, they still beating themselves up. The best tip I can give your audience is to forgive themselves for whatever it is that they think they've done with their money. I don't care if you lost it all at the casino. I don't care if you was on drugs. I don't care what you did with your money. Forgive yourself today. Otherwise, you are destined to keep living that existence over and over, and you'll pass away poor. And that would be the biggest tragedy, especially after having a sphere of influence like Quinn Conyers. That would be such a shame.
Oh, Natalie,
I was trying not to take him to church, but I had
listen. I consider myself a godly woman, but every now and then people like you make me want to cuss because I'm like, Lord, she is singing my song. She is doing my dance. You said that people fight for their limitation. Listen, y'all, I speak a lot. I listen a lot too. We fight for our limitations. When you ran down that, but Natalie, I'm a single parent, but Natalie, I have my child at 16 or 17, but Natalie, like it's all the excuses that we keep fighting for versus fighting for our abundance. We don't fight for that. We just fight for our limitations. So I just was like, oh my God, we could be on here every day, all day, Monday through Friday, and twice on a Sunday. You know, the time just goes so quickly. I'm looking at the time like, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. But for those people who are like, I need to get my money together. I need to be unapologetic about my wealth. Natalie touched my spirit. She touched my soul. I don't want to leave you guys here. When I seek out people to be on this podcast, I really look for people who I know that can rock your world and blow your mind. And selfishly, I take notes as well. I am not above this. I'm like, ooh, I need to get myself together as well because we are all learning in this process. So I know that people can go to unapologeticwealth.com. I have it at the bottom. But if people want to connect with you on Clubhouse or social media, how else can people get in contact with Natalie Bullen?
Sure. I have a Facebook group by the same name, Unapologetic Wealth. Everybody should join that group. I have free financial literacy tips in that group. I don't sell there. It is literally a basis because I feel like every woman deserves basic financial literacy. So if you need help with how to increase your prices, how to build credit, how to understand different types of life insurance, whatever complex financial thing you think it is that you don't understand is probably in my group. You can follow me on Instagram at Unapologetic Wealth, and then on Clubhouse, Unapologetic Wealth was too long, so I'm at Natalie Bullen. I am there 3 times a week. That's where I met Quinn, who's phenomenal, by the way, and where I met Pam Perry. Pam, thanks for coming on. But in short, make this the year that you get involved with your finances. Even if you're not at the point where you can hire a financial planner or a financial advisor, even if you don't know where to start, make this the year that you, like you said, fight for your abundance. Instead of telling yourself how you can afford to save, start talking about, you know what, how can I put $50 a month in a savings account? Fight for that. How can I fight for how can I instead of there's no way I can save any amount of money? It's impossible, Natalie. I started off saving $50 a month. That's how I started my initial. And then I went to $50 a paycheck, which was every 2 weeks. And then I was able to increase that to $100 a paycheck. And I did that for about a year. That's $2,600 a year. That's a lot of money. So it one day I looked up, I had $10,000 saved. And I was like, I can't believe this. Because in my mind, I was paycheck to paycheck, but I just made saving non-negotiable. Make wealth non-negotiable. Just decide that that's a baseline in your life. It's just something you are going to have from this point forward. And then start talking to people with money. Keep yourself close. Get in these rooms. It's 2022. You can talk to millionaires, or at least hear millionaires talk for free. There's really no excuse. Like my mama, TV used to go off in my mama's ear. Like TV used to actually turn off at night. Like it wasn't 24/7. Like they signed off and the TV shut off. Wasn't no Facebook, wasn't no internet. So if you didn't know somebody wealthy or see them on TV on 1 or 2 channels your parents paid for, you couldn't get this access. We have no excuse. Damon John gives more free content than probably any Black entrepreneur. I mean, he's online, seem like every day. And I am listening. I want to hear how millionaires think, because I'm up next.
Me too. Don't leave us little people behind. Me and you at the top. Look, I want to come. Look, I want to come. I want to climb. I want to go up that mountain. I want to move up the money mountain. People trying to do the corporate ladder. I want to do the money mountain with Natalie. That's what I want to do. You know, I love it. Well, listen, I appreciate you. I appreciate your insight, your thought leadership. You know, part of me, you know, thinking I'm on Clubhouse, about to see if anybody wanted to raise their hand, had to figure out what platform I was on, you know, to keep it going. But, you know, definitely if you guys are on Clubhouse, Natalie is always dropping knowledge and gems, you know, tap in. And also too, like you said, there's no excuse right now not to change the way you and your relationship with money is. So again, love it, love it, love it. Curious, when is your next Clubhouse room so people can kind of join in?
My next Clubhouse room is on Friday.
Okay.
It is on Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time.
All right.
And I will be interviewing Stacey Reed, who is a Facebook ad strategist. And she is going to be talking about how to take your organic reach and accelerate it with Facebook ads, how to know if you're ready and what to do if you're not ready. So I think it's going to be a really good room to help people determine what could I be doing more of for free on the organic front, and then what could I be doing more of to benefit from the algorithm.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, y'all just heard from Natalie Bullen. Natalie, stay around for just a second. I'm going to close out and come right back to you in just a second. Listen, y'all, I don't know about you, but Natalie just made my heart smile. So much great information in such a little bit of time. So if you haven't already connected with her, you can literally go to her website, unapologeticwealth.com. Again, my name is Quinn Conyers, and I really use my platforms to be a vehicle to educate and inspire people who look like me and people who don't look like me, because we are all here to grow, to excel, and to really level up in 2022 and beyond. So if you are new to the Speak Black Women podcast, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment if you really, really enjoyed. If you are catching this live, you can also do replay. Either way, I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad that we are connected. But more importantly, I want you to be super unapologetic about your wealth in 2022 and beyond. If you want to connect more with me personally, my name is Miss Quinn Conyers across all social media platforms, as well as you can go to speakblackwoman.com. You can get some past episodes, as well as get your copy of Speak Black Woman, How Women in Business Can Profit from Public Speaking. This is my second book, y'all. And if you want to start 2022 off right, you want to have this in your hands, you can get this from Target, Amazon, or Barnes & Nobles online. But if you order it from the speakblackwoman.com website, guess what? You get it directly from me and I'll sign it for you. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me and Miss Natalie Bullen today. I hope you got some great information, tips, tools, and techniques on how you can be unapologetic about your wealth in 2022 and beyond. Until our next episode of the Speak Black Woman podcast, I will talk to you soon. Have an awesome and amazing Wednesday.